Hello, myself Ramesh Kant, Department of Mining Engineering, Amet University, Chennai. Today my topic is spontaneous heating, which is a very important cause of mine fires. Okay. Today I am going to do spontaneous heating, which is a very important cause of mine fire. Actually, this is one of the main important cause of mine fires throughout the world. In India, it has been observed that around 80% of mine fires has taken place due to spontaneous heating. It has caused a great loss of the property of mines. Now, there are many factors which affect spontaneous combustion or heating. Actually, mainly two factors: intrinsic factors and extrinsic factors. In intrinsic factor, that is the nature of the coal, that depends on the seam factor and coal factor, and another is extrinsic factor, that is atmospheric factor, geological factor and mining factor, that is mining system, how we are conditioned. Now this we will go through the extrinsic factor in detail, that is climatic condition. It depends on the temperature, moisture, humidity, barometric pressure and oxygen concentration. Actually, if oxygen concentration is more, spontaneous heating will take place faster. Okay. If temperature will also support the spontaneous heating. Actually, see, the temperature also affect that. If the atmosphere temperature is more, it will support the spontaneous heating. Next is geological factors. Geological factor means how the coal seam is surrounded by the strata. If there are fault fissures, it will support the spontaneous heating due to the air leakage of the surrounding of the coal seam. Then the seam thickness is also very important, because if the thickness of seam is more, it is prone to a spontaneous heating. It supports the spontaneous heating because the surface area for that oxidation process is more. Okay. Next important factor is mining factors, that is mining methods, rate of advance, pillar condition, crushing or pillar, packing, dumping system, the leakage of the air, whether it is multi-seam working, then coal losses in the Gulf area, worked out areas, heat from the machines, stowing system and ventilation system and air flow through the mines, that also affect greatly to the spontaneous heating. In mining methods, we can see it depends on the mining methods, it will affect the spontaneous heating more. Then another thing is crushing. Crushing means the next is volatile matter content and moisture content. If the volatile matter is more, the rate of oxidation increases, and we know if the rate of oxidation is more, the spontaneous heating will take place faster. Okay. Then moisture content. The moisture content of the coal, it reduces the oxidation process, so it will not affect the spontaneous heating. If the moisture content is more, the tendency of the spontaneous heating will be more. Next point is oxygen content. If the oxygen content is more, it will definitely affect the spontaneous heating. The rate of spontaneous heating will be more. If the content of oxygen percentage is less than 2%, it is not going to affect the spontaneous heating rate. Then ash content. If the ash content is more, the oxidation rate will decrease. Next important factor is seam thickness. If the coal seam thickness is more, definitely it is going to affect more spontaneous heating, because it has the large area of oxidation, and it is going to affect in the positive manner. Then dip of the seam. If the dip of the seam is more, the spontaneous heating will be more, because the rate of the air ventilation will increase. Next point is depth of cover. If the coal seam is on shallow depth and due to the fracture or any cracks, the air leakage will be more and it will support the spontaneous heating. Therefore, the rate of spontaneous heating will increase. And if the coal seam is under immense pressure, it will also going to support the spontaneous heating. Next point is presence of multi-seam. If we are working in multi-seam, it is prone to a spontaneous heating, because a lot of fresh coal is exposed to the fresh air, and it is going to support the spontaneous heating. Next point is caving character. If the strata of the mining has the tendency to cave in, it is going to affect spontaneous heating. Then another point is faulting. If there are faults in the coal seam, it will definitely affect the rate of, it is going to support the rate of oxidation. So, it will increase the spontaneous heating rate. Next factor is mining methods. If suppose in long wall advanced method, it is extracted the area between the entry, and if we are leaving the coal, so it is prone to a spontaneous heating. That is why retreat method is then in next point is multi-seam working. In multi-seam working, there are chances of spontaneous heating more, because the more coal are exposed to the fresh air. Now next we are going to see the stages of spontaneous combustion or heating. Actually, mainly there are three main stages in the spontaneous heating, that is the incubation period, indication period, and open fire. Then what is the incubation period? This is the actually period which gives the sign of first oxidation time, and the time which we can detect with our senses like eyes or by smelling. Okay, this incubation period only we can sense by our organs, that we can see the eyes, and we can sense some smell will come. The incubation period it depends on the following factors, that is the character of the coal. So, what type of coal it is? The character means the rank of the coal, what are the contents there in the coal. So, it depends on the characteristics of the coal. And next is seam thickness, whether the seam thickness is thin or very thick. The incubation period depends on the thickness of the coal seam also. Then the nature of the immediate roof. So, what are the immediate roof, that is shale or sandstone, it also affect the rate of spontaneous heating, and that is incubation period. And another important factor is regularity and continuity of the working, that is the mining work is going on continuously or intermittently, there is any breakage or halt. If there is halt, the incubation period will increase and it will support the spontaneous heating actually. And next important factor is air leakage and heat accumulation in the environment. If the heat is accumulating and the proper ventilation is not there, the incubation period will be affected. So, there should be proper ventilation. So, suppose for low rank, the incubation period varies between 3 to 6 months. That is, the low rank coal is supposed to be prone to more spontaneous heating. That is why it has to be extracted or depuller fast. Then with high rank, incubation period varies between 9 to 18 months. So, it can stay longer, accordingly we have to adopt the mining methods. Okay, the next stage is the indication period. Actually, when the incubation period ends, this period starts. So, it is marked by the sweating or by haze from the environment. Actually, when due to the heating process, the moisture sweating means on the cold surface we can see the sweating type means water droplets, or due to by warm up of air. Because the air warm up, this sweating will start. The next is but this period or this stage stay for very small period, so we may not observe it, and it ends with the appearance of fire sting, means a particular type of stinking smell will come. And next stage is the open fires. After ending this indication period, the fire can start at any point of time. Actually, this is called after indication period, the fire can start. So, in open fires, the seam does not burn, but with a bright flame, but they glow, developing bluish and white cloud. Then next point is how we will detect the spontaneous combustion. Actually, the detection of spontaneous combustion at early stage is very essential to prevent the fire or to prevent the mine fire. So, maybe it can be detected physically or by chemical indication. Okay. There are mainly 3 classes of detection for a specific heating. Early detection by physical symptoms. Through our human senses we can detect it. Next is through conducting thermal survey using some thermal devices, and next is monitoring gas concentrations in return airways and sealed off areas and making compositional analysis of mine environment. So, how we can do the early detection? Through our physical techniques. That is this is the oldest technique for fast detection of heating. So, development of heating in a GOF area is generally accompanied with the following factor, that when the haze will start, hazing means we cannot see like a smoke atmosphere, then sweating of the strata, gob sting or fire sting, sound, some sound, cracking sound will come, then a smoke, and finally the fire. So, these are the physical symptoms. By this we can detect the then what is gob stink? So, first indication of heating is detected by our senses. So, gob stink or fire sting, we can smell and we can detect that there is some heating has started. So, initial heating has started, that smell will give us a indication. A strong smell, if it is coming a strong smell, it indicates that heating has made sufficient headway, that is the stage has increased. Now, the haze, this is an important symptom. The haze is visible a little from the seat of fire, that is near the intake of the ventilation. Then sweating of the strata. This is observed at an advanced stage. This happens due to the condensation of water vapor released from the coal due to spontaneous heating, and the water droplets form on the roofs, walls or timbers. It supports the then sound. Sometimes a particular sound is coming through the cracking of the strata. Then smoke in the airways. When this stage sufficiently advances, the smoke starts in the airways. With that we can identify the spontaneous heating has started. Next, conducting thermal survey using some thermal devices are there. We are releasing some infrared scanning systems are there in roadways, which detects the spontaneous heating stages. Next is monitoring gas concentration in the return airways and sealed off areas, that is the main area where the spontaneous heating starts and the mine fire can take place. Monitoring the quality in a mine is the modern, we can monitor this by many monitoring systems are there in the airways and analysis of changes in the air composition. Sampling of the air we can do in the lab by taking the sample from the mine fire area. When the gas emits, the phases of oxidation, time and temperature, that's why it implies the skilled interpretation of that trends. Next important factor is how to prevent the spontaneous combustion. This is the main thing. So, prevention of spontaneous combustion mainly depends on two factors. First is elimination of coal from the area itself, and the next is control of ventilation. That control of ventilation include excluding the oxygen entirely from the area, that oxygen supply completely we will stop. Then supply a sufficient flow of air. Next point is we will supply a sufficient flow of air to dissipate the heat efficiently, so that the heat will not accumulate and it will not reach the critical temperature to take fire. Then another so many methods are there, so we can apply to prevent the spontaneous heating, that is mining layout. So, for preventing the spontaneous combustion, proper mine layout is important. So, proper mine layout design is very important to stop the spontaneous heating. It should be simple, and the area or it can be divided into so many sections, that depends on the incubation period of that coal. And the important system of mining layout is panel system of working. So, this is the preferable to stop the spontaneous combustion. Size of panels is based on the incubation period. This is a very important factor, and the rate of extraction is also an important factor. So, the panel size must be, it should complete the extraction within the incubation period, and the size of the panel should be sufficient to make it stabilize. The panel should be independent of ventilation should be formed. For each panel, independent ventilation should be there. When working in board and pillar method, the size and the shape of the pillar should be sufficient, so that crushing of the edges will not take place. Mainly due to the crushing, the spontaneous heating, it supports the spontaneous heating. In case of long wall mining, the face length should be smaller, preferably between 60 to 65 meters, so that before starting the warming up the heat, it should be mined out. Then coal winning. How we are going to win the coal? So, for preventing the spontaneous combustion, we have to minimize the amount of coal, timber or paper or any oily things or other combustible material left in the grove area. Means in the grove area, all these combustible materials should be avoided. This coal should be worn as completely as practicable. Means we should not leave some coal in the grove area. That is going to create problem in the long run. Then a high rate of extraction is also adopted to prevent fire due to a spontaneous heating. And the advance or retreat of a coal face should not be interrupted. If it is interrupted, it is going to support the spontaneous combustion. Now, another important prevention method is ventilation and air leakage control. We have to see the any air leakage in the airway which is leading to the grove area actually. So, the layout of the ventilation should be very to minimize the pressure differential between the two airways. the resistance should be very less. So, all active mines working and roadways coal should be adequately ventilated, and unused roadway, that is where the work is not going on, that should be sealed off, completely sealed off. There should be no leakage of air current. And the ventilation pressure, next point is important point is the ventilation pressure, it should not be very high so that the air leakage will take place and it will go through the crushed pillar or defective stoppings or seals of the sealed off areas, so that it will support the spontaneous combustion. Next, doors, stoppings or regulators should be properly sited. Unnecessary stopping and should not be installed. Short circuiting of area, uncontrolled circulation must be eliminated. And as far as practicable, the leakage of the path should be minimized, and the size of the pillar and good red side, it should be packed. The air leakage should be sealed from the fractures area, which is going to support the spontaneous heating. Okay, next important prevention factor is inhibitors. In the storage area or surface stockpiles, some chemical agents are available in the market, which is going to seal that whole piles. It should be applied on the coal surface, which prevent the penetration of oxygen actually into the coal, and it stops spontaneous heating. It will seal the surface area on the surface pores, so it stops the initiation of the auto oxidation of coal. Next is a stockpile should be properly designed to reduce the air movement through them. That is, if the air current will be less through crossing through that surface piles, it will not affect the spontaneous heating. So, surface stockpiles can be sealed off by any consolidation and bitumen. Next prevention method is inspection actually. So, at every working place in underground, it should be inspected by a supervisor or any competent authority person at least once during each working shift. This is their responsibility to check the any spontaneous heating sign is there. And during inspection, we have to take care that any means of eliminating fire risk which causes due to spontaneous combustion or any other causes. In any idle days, if there is no work in a particular district, in all districts should be checked properly if there is any spontaneous heating sign is there. So, in this way we have found that spontaneous heating is one of the great cause of mine fire in the coal industry. So, we have to take care. This is the main reason around 80% of mine fires has taken place due to this cause, spontaneous combustion. Thanks.